Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Joe Daddy's Garage. It is Monday, June 10th, 2024. I'm here. I may be struggling tonight, but I'm here. Um, I guess y'all probably have most of y'all have seen the last video that I did working on the Cobra Jet, and I was cutting the hole in the hood for the shaker hood scoop that goes on that car. And in that process, I managed to get a piece of metal stuck in my eye. Now, I mentioned this in the video. What I had actually done Monday, I was doing something and I got something in like the corner of my eye. And it was probably dirt. I don't know for sure. And I let it go. It was a little irritated. I mentioned that in the video. And then, when you go to bed and you sleep and your eye that stuff kind of gets dissolved or whatever. I got some of that out Tuesday morning, and then Wednesday it was much better. And then Thursday, I think it was, I was grinding on that hood. I had safety glasses on, but unfortunately, they were kind of up a little bit. And I also, normally you'll see me use face shields and stuff like that. I will be using a face shield more often. The whatever it was, it ricocheted or something, and it actually got stuck in my cornea. So Friday, I edited videos and I struggled, painful eye, watery eye. Saturday, I was struggling with it. My wife said, "You need to go get that looked at." So I did. And I went, first thing I did was I went to an optometrist. I figured I'll go somewhere local. I didn't want to go to the hospital, and I'll go somewhere local and see if they can help me out. So they looked at me at the optometrist, and while they were able to identify that it was stuck in my eye, they couldn't really do much. They tried, and they were not comfortable with doing it. In fact, they had suggested I may have to have that piece of metal drilled out of my eye. Yeah, so that wasn't very much fun. I ended up going to the hospital on Saturday late, probably 4 or 5, and Veterans Hospital, which is on the north side of Atlanta. Drove up there, and they checked me in and looked at it and determined they needed an ophthalmologist to come in. So I laid around for a couple of hours and had them, finally somebody came in, very nice, treated me very nice, and they were able to dig out the bulk of whatever was stuck in there. At this point, it's still irritated. Like Sunday, I couldn't even open the blinds on the house. I had to keep all the lights off. And then, of course, today I was doing very much the same thing. And I was feeling better. It got much better. And it's still not 100%, I'll say that. I am having to put in some ointments and drops and different things. And I'm going back to that same hospital tomorrow for a noon appointment. Hopefully everything is okay and it doesn't cause me any more problems. But it was really, really difficult. In fact, right now this light that I have up here is difficult for me to use. But I need to have something on because it'll just be too dark. So anyway, I'm glad you're all here. I hope y'all had a good week and got some stuff done. I'm looking forward to getting more done on the Cobra Jet. As I mentioned previously, I did put in the rear axle. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't clean it up. It's rusty, and it's going to stay that way until somebody else works on it. I'm not going to mess with that thing. Really, it probably needs to have the housing replaced overall. It's so pitted, and even the center section is heavily, heavily pitted. Now, will it matter overall in the long run? Probably not. But for cosmetics, it probably should be addressed. So I'm not going to mess with that. The caliper on the front, I was contacted by Kentucky Mustang, and they don't have a matching caliper in that color. So I will probably end up finding something that's very close to what the other color was, or I would just buy something and paint both calipers. I really didn't want to take the driver's side back off, but if I have to, I have to. and then I will take care of those, get those painted, and get that front end back together. From there, it'll be getting the wheels back on it and getting it off of the lift. That's the goal, right? Get it off the lift, start hanging the sheet metal back on it, and try to get that stuff taken care of and get it ready to go. So, if you're new to my live stream, we try to talk about classic cars. Typically, my bracket, as I mentioned, that is 1955 roughly up until about 1979. I think that, to me, that fits the bracket of my version of classic cars. Some may put it back further, some may narrow that field a bit, but that's where I'm at. So if you are new to the stream, I encourage you to participate. And if you have a question or have a subject you want to bring up, by all means, do that. We'll talk about it. And if you have something, troubling you with your project, maybe we can resolve it. If I can't, there's always a group of people over here in this chat box that do a great job of that. So let me give them a bell for everybody in that chat box right now. And that's kind of the reward system that I have. Yep, free of charge. Okay, so let's see who's here tonight, and then we'll continue on with some other topics that we're going to talk about. So first in is Rick Gain. Was not sure I'd make it tonight, but things have changed. Glad to be here. Glad you're here, Rick. And he also says, I realize the vehicle is too new for the stream, but the clutch in my 89 Wrangler went out today. I really need a vehicle lift, and a place to put it. Yeah, very handy to have. Dave Tyson, good evening. Hope the eye is better. Well, thank you, Dave. It's better, but it's not great. It'll be better as the days go by, I'm sure. So, Jerry checking in from the Money Pit. Good evening to all from Middle Tennessee. Thumbs up for Barry. Yes, thank you, Jerry. And thank you for asking earlier in this week about my eye. Appreciate that. Jay Living, hi to all from Northwest Georgia. Glad you're here, Jay. Cindy Hackett, hi y'all from South Dakota. Glad you're here. And I'm sure that's probably Robert, not Cindy, but glad you're here either way. Terry Keithley, evening all, Barry. Please hit the like and thumbs up. Thank you kindly. Thank you, Terry. Jay Living says thank you to all of our veterans. Yes, very much so. Rusty's Restoration. Hello all, and Barry. Thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Rusty. Travis, hey all, I'm here but working, so won't be around much. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here, Travis. Glad you checked in. And you're welcome to listen to this afterwards. Roger, Hindsight 67, greetings from next door. Roger gave me a hand today picking up this. Thankful for that. We'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Troy Justin, hey gang, from a rainy and thundering coastal Georgia. Like Barry, I'm having eye problems. I couldn't see missing this. Steve Reed. Hey, hello, Barry and everyone from Paducah, Kentucky. I just like saying Paducah. Who cannot like saying Paducah? Need to make that into a song. Somewhere you got to have Paducah in the song. Rick Stevenson. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Rick. And I have to get my first sip of coffee when Rick checks in. And I was due for that, by the way. Dawn's Manufactory, hello, fellow car buffs from sunny PDX. Nope, I'm not at Power Tour. Ugh. You know, I've never made the Power Tour, and I guess I probably should in one way or another. Because I've had people suggest that I should do a project car specifically for the Power Tour. Like that thing. Take something like that and say, this is going on a Power Tour, and I'm going to build it, and we'll see, if I can make it happen. Could be interesting. I don't know. But we'll talk about that in just a minute. Glad you're here, Don. Ralph Cybulski. I'm going to say Ralph A. Cybulski Jr. Hi, all from summer back to spring in northern Indiana. 63 degrees. Ooh, that sounds nice. So I have to imagine now that there is a Ralph A. Cybulski Sr. And maybe there's a Ralph A. Cybulski III. Unique name. I like it. Robert checking in, Infernal Craftsman, evening all from hot and humid state of misery. I mean, Texas is that time of year for me to be in a perpetual bad mood. Well, there's always that. Bob Shoemaker, evening all from Oklahoma, where everything is okay, right? Glad you're here, Bob. Troy Justin, I see something new in the garage. What's the plan? That is... I don't know if I gave you a bell before. I don't know if there is a plan. I really don't. This is the car that I talked about a few weeks ago. It's a 68, obviously a coupe, and it has a lot of problems. I posted some pictures earlier on Facebook. It's pretty messed up. Now, the good parts are the cowl is solid. The front frame rails are solid. Driver shock tower is not so good. There's a wrinkle in the apron where the hinge mounts on the driver's side. There's a compression wrinkle on the front left apron, lower section. The car, I think, was rear-ended. The quarter panel where you see this is buckled like bad. It's got a big buckle in it. The quarter panel right there, actually, instead of being kind of like a little dip, it's like a big corner drop deal. It's messed up pretty bad. But there's some ideas that I'm having. You always have these ideas. You always get these crazy ideas, right? And I have to really draw out a little map of what I'm thinking here. This car, originally when I looked at it, it did not have a VIN number on it. I think I couldn't find it, and he found it. So it has a good VIN. So that's a plus. That's a plus, right? Good VIN, has the VINs on the aprons. But the rest of the car is pretty messed up, right? Not much I can do with it the way it is. However, I've mentioned before that I want to do the 67 coupe and turn it into a fastback. I'm having second thoughts on that because of this car. I'm having second thoughts. And let me tell you why. The 67 has rust issues, really, really bad rust issues that affects the A-pillars, the roof, some of the inner structure. And I'm debating now on whether I want to take this car apart to fix the 67 coupe back to a solid car. And the reason for that, the 67 has a title. It's a good, clean title on that car. That's valuable whenever you're trying to sell one of these cars or try to do something with it. So there's potential that I could salvage because like the A pillars and all this, everything up here is rust-free and solid. The B pillar, the A pillar, the windshield opening, everything is solid on this car versus that stuff is bad on the 67. And that's why I wanted to do what I wanted to do as far as the fastback. So with that in mind, this car could potentially become a fastback. Could. It depends on how bad the rear section is, where the frame is, or what condition it's in. And it depends on how far I want to go, right? The beauty of this one, oddly enough, it's the same green color as the Bullet car. It is not originally red. It is originally a green, whatever that color is for the Bullet car. So I have to do some juggling and see what makes sense and whether it's going to be worth it, because if I turn that into a fastback, is somebody going to want to buy it? I mean, ultimately, that's what I need to know, because I can't just build something for myself and sit on it. It's not going to work. I have to keep the ball moving, and so that's kind of where I'm at. So anyway, we'll talk more about that in a minute if you want, but that's kind of where the gears are grinding right now in my mind. Rick Ain, protect your eyes at all costs. Yes, I agree, Rick. And the reality is when I was working on that hood, I was trying to use the GoPro on my head, and that's why I didn't have a face shield on, because I had the GoPro on, trying to get good footage. Not good. Dave Conville. Good evening, all. Good evening, Dave. That's second Dave sighting. And tuned in to hear drilled out of my eye. Yeah, well, that was the potential. I'm hoping that I don't have to have anything else done. Rick Gain, they could have put you in an MRI machine. The piece of metal would have come out for sure. Yeah, I get a little nervous. I've been in an MRI machine before, and believe me, I was nervous about it. I was actually nervous. It was for they did something on my arm. They had MRI my joint, my elbow joint, and I was pretty nervous because I know there's probably a bunch of metal stuck in me from over the years, and I was thinking, man, is this stuff going to come out of me? Is there potential? Maybe. Yeah. Robert, I was thinking really big neodymium magnet. I pronounce it neodymium. Yeah. I don't think I have one of those, but you know what I did, Robert? We had conversed about that briefly, and I have some of these like super, super strong, I guess, rare earth magnets. I mean, these things are so strong if you let them snap into each other, they'll shatter. I actually wrapped it in saran wrap. It took it up to my eye and tried to get it out. Didn't work, unfortunately. But it was worth a shot. I mean, well, come on. Steve's Money Pit. I'm here, Yahoo. Glad you're here, Steve. Don't be so excited. Let's see. Good evening, Barry. Glad to see you're on the mend. Thank you, Richard. Brandon Hopkins, is the Cobra Jet gone? No, it is not. No. I will be painting the Cobra Jet, but I have to get it off of the lift. It's sitting back there on the lift still. Get it off the lift and get the sheet metal hung back on it. Zero out my gaps, make sure everything's right, and then start prepping it for the paint process. And I'm not sure exactly when I will paint it because I like the temperatures getting too hot. I've mentioned this before. I can't control the temperature in here enough to have airflow and the correct temperature. If I have airflow, it's going to pull out all of my cool air too fast and just pull in hot air behind it, and it won't work good. So, but it's still here. Travis, do you drink coffee all day? I get coffee when I go out in the garage, even if it's late in the day. I don't drink coffee as much as I used to. I'll put it that way. I do like my coffee, though. I would normally probably, let's say if I had easy access to coffee, I would probably drink 5 or 6 cups a day. If it was just a simple, here's a machine, boom, I'm ready to go. Or I would drink a whole pot, probably by myself. But as it is, I drink one in the morning now, and I might have one later on. Like, this is actually decaf because I want to be able to sleep. So hopefully that, works out good for me. But that's a good question. Cindy said, Hackett. Yes, it's Robert, and sorry to hear about your eye. Praying that it will heal quickly. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate that. Tom Anziano. Hello, Barry. I wasn't sure if you'd be doing your live stream tonight, considering the incident with your eye. Good to see you this evening, and this bell's for you making it here. Well, thank you, Tom. Appreciate that. Jay Living says, hey, Barry, say hi to Shelby, my son. We're wiring a 68 coupe. Awesome. Hi, Shelby. Keep working. Get it done. Harvey checking in, Rally Cat Garage. Hello, Barry. Highland Green is the color. There you go. Highland Green. Thank you. I couldn't remember. But that's what color this was. This car was Highland Green. It's still evident in the windshield frame and on the rain gutters. Rick A. in the bullet car was Highland Green. Yes. Thank you, Rick. Ralph, the third stop here. LOL. Okay. Robert had the same thing with his eye, and he feels for you. Yeah, it's never fun to get stuff, and I hate to say it, I try, but I've over the years we've all had stuff in our eyes, especially growing up at the junkyard. So here's a little junkyard story. I know Rick likes those a lot, and I don't always have a lot to say about junkyard story time, but I'll bring up some things here. I will say that growing up in a junkyard in the 70s, you learn to siphon gas a lot. That's right. If you wanted to go somewhere on a Friday night and Dad wouldn't give you any money, you went and siphoned gas out of something so you could have gas to go somewhere. And I must say, I probably have siphoned hundreds of gallons of gas out of cars. And from the time I was probably 9 years old, because I'd siphon gas for the lawnmower, I'd siphon gas for the go-kart, whatever. Probably 9, 10 years old is when I first started doing that. And back then we didn't have clear hoses. You'd have a rubber hose, and you had to learn how many times you could draw on it until you could feel that compression change, or that resistance, let's say, change a little bit, and time it out to where you got it in the jug, right? And so I did that many, many, many times. And I know on 2 different occasions, one time I managed to get gas in both my eyes at the same time. And that was actually, I was pretty young. We had a funnel, and I was holding the funnel, and I forget who was pouring the gas into the funnel, and it was up a little high. It was like on the top of a lawnmower, and they said something about it, like, hey, it's so neat how that gas swirls around and you pour it, and I couldn't see it, and I went like this to see it, and it went shot me in both eyes. And it might have been my brother pouring the gas. It had to have been my brother, because he put me on the ground, and he took we used to keep gallon jugs of water out in the garage, and he just like squeezed that water into my face to get the gas out of my eyes. And then I know one other occasion I was siphoning gas and wasn't quick enough, and got it in my face, got it in my eye, had to stagger over to the house and figure out where I was, and so I had gas in both eyes twice. I've had model glue. That's another good one. When you're working on little car models, building your Revell or whatever model kits, and I didn't know I had glue on my finger, and I went to rub my eye, and it was like, oh, that's not good. I've had paint. I've had spray paint in both my eyes. That was fun. This is another chalk it up to somebody young and dumb. Had a rattle can paint. I'm trying to spray it, and it won't spray. And it's like, what's wrong with this thing? I turned it around to see what was wrong, and it sprayed. Lo and behold, shot both my eyes with spray paint. I'm sure there's been other things, oil, dirt, grease, all kinds of junk that I've had in my eyes over the years. I don't recall ever having something literally stuck in my eye, though. In this case, this would probably be the worst one, because I couldn't do anything about it. With the other ones where it's a liquid or even a chemical, you could get water and stuff in there and kind of rinse it out. For this one, I was like splashing water in my eye. I was taking eye drops and trying all kinds of different things. And I don't know if it's probably still pretty red. I think, I don't know, I can't tell, but it nothing helped. And so I know better. All the years working at the airline, they made it mandatory that you wore safety glasses anytime, like 24 hours. If you were in the building, you were supposed to wear safety glasses. And that's great, but sometimes even with those, you can still get something that manages to ricochet, and it'll come from maybe a different angle and hit the lens and come back into your eye. So I have, I'll just show you, and I've probably shown this before in some of my videos, but I have I have 3 of these hanging around the shop. And what I'm probably going to try to do, because I was, like I said, I had my GoPro on my head, and that requires a strap, whatever. I think what I may do is just modify the or make a bracket or something to where I can just mount the GoPro on top like that, and that way I'm not, exposed. The other thing is when you have one of these, is you can't bring it down into your neck. You end up hitting your face. So what I may end up doing is I may trim this down here somehow so that I can get it tighter and get my head down further. These are available. In fact, this brand, this is from Amazon. If you're interested, I don't know if I have it listed on there or not, but that one works really nice because it has cutaways or gaps for your earmuffs. So there's a safety lesson. Don't do that. Don't be dumb. Don't make mistakes. That's all you got to say. Okay. Let me go back up here. Robert, I wear goggles when I weed eat and mow now since we have so much sand. If I don't wear them, I'm dealing with sand in my eyes for days. My eyelashes catch pounds of sand and funnel it in. Yeah, it's amazing how they do that. It's and I know when I'm mowing I wear like sunglasses. I don't wear safety glasses, but maybe if I'm weed eating, yeah, I'll do that. Simone checking in. Hi, Barry in chat. Glad you're here, Simone. Checking in from England, I believe. UK, somewhere over there. She says, hi, Robert. Jay Living, LOL, cheap drunk 100 octane. Yeah. Yeah, it was good times. Mark Watson, good evening, Barry. My wife works for an ophthalmologist not 10 minutes from you. Hope you get well soon. Well, thank you, Mark. I do too. I'm going back up, like I said, to a visit to the hospital tomorrow, and we'll see what they say. Simone says, I got two-stroke oil in my eyes about 20 years ago. I went to the local eye hospital and they helped, but found I had astigmatism in my right eye, so it kind of worked out to improve my vision. Well, that's a good way to look at it. Robert, screw a GoPro mount to the helmet. I need one of those helmets as that's better than my 3M one. Yeah, these are fantastic helmets. They really are. So I will be modifying it and making use of the many, many GoPro attachment things that I have. Richard, are the doors for the 68 in decent shape? That I think so. When you say decent, though, that's relative, right? I know, without stripping anything out, I know in that right front corner, the outer skin, where they all go bad, has gone bad. However, I'm pretty confident that all the inner structure is solid, at least on the passenger side door. So I haven't gotten too far into it yet, as far as grinding off any junk and seeing what's there. But they have good potential. Put it that way. Simone says, "Yep, UK." Yes, okay. And Robert says hello to Simone as well. Yeah. So, that's the situation at the moment with this car. And now, also, as I mentioned previously, I have to pick up another Mustang up in Pennsylvania. It's a 70 Mach 1. And it is basically a shell like this. There's, this one does come with seats. It does have the seats, the front seats at least. And I think there's parts of the back seat. There's a handful of new parts. And these quarter skins, I wouldn't use those myself. Somebody else may want them, but I don't plan to use those. They're not the kind that I would use. So I have to go through it pretty good. I've also got the back of my pickup truck is full of stuff. I have 4 big plastic tubs that are full of everything else. wiring, alternator, fan, just door handles and hinges and all kinds of stuff. So that's another thing. And then in the back of the truck, there is a windshield, back glass, door glass, and trim. There's all kinds of stuff. And it's unfortunate, I know this guy wanted to rebuild this car. He's older than me, and his son, he and his son were going to do it, and then his son just kind of gave up on it. And I don't blame him. This would have been a real challenge for an average builder. I mean, like, there's so much wrong that without either a frame jig or a lot of experience to know, hey, if I do this and do that, maybe I can, save it. It would be really, really tough. Really tough. Simone, I'm moving TC tomorrow. I will be welding very soon. I need to fabricate part of the chassis rail. I am buying a gas bottle soon as I am sick of flux core welding. Oh, good. I don't like flux. I mean, flux core has its place, but it's not on a car. I mean, not sheet metal work, not, it just doesn't, in my opinion. I know people do it, but I'm just not a fan. I don't like it. Dave Tyson, new Mustang Ranch. Yeah, I should. I should bury him nose down, right? Jay Living, my son needs 2 quarters for his 70 fastback. I'll tell you what. Send me an email, because I have a dynacorn connection that may be able to help. Okay, so if you send me an email, and what I need from you, if you're gonna do this, and we'll see if we can do it. I'll need you to. Here's my email at the bottom of the screen. joedaddysgarage@gmail.com. If you want to, I need an email with your part numbers that you want, the dynacorn part numbers. You can look them up on the dynacorn site. Give me the dynacorn part numbers. Give me an address and a phone number, and I will forward that to my contact and see if we can't get you some help getting some parts. So, there you go. See what happens. Robert, flux core welding is not fun. At any time when I get my new passport, I'll head over to watch and critique. There you go. Marcus, hi all from south of Houston. Glad you're here, Marcus. I recognize your name. You're definitely. I have several here that are on Patreon with me. And Marcus is one of those, and so is Travis, and there's quite a few that follow me and help me, do these things. So glad you're here, Marcus. Rusty, I like the idea of the conversion. I understand the issue of the resale. Yeah, and it's, I hate to. I said before this would be a parts car, and it is a parts car, but it does have potential to be a parts car for the 67, and then this one could become the fastback. I know that, like I said, on the 67, somebody has put in an A-pillar, and they did it so bad. Like, the A-pillar comes up, picture where the windshield frame comes in, and it's like that or something. There's a massive shift in how that goes together, and it's all wrong. And my only fix to that was to replace the whole side of the car, which would benefit from making it a fastback. But that car again has a clear title. So if I cut it up and turn it into a fastback, now it's a coupe with a clear title that's converted to a fastback, whereas this car is whatever. I mean, it's just a regular, nothing car as far as options and stuff like that. So it could easily become a fastback. So that's where I'm at. and maybe I'll do a survey later on or something, and get some ideas. But I'm not against removing the A pillar, the windshield, the roof, the roof structure, the inner structure, the B pillar. Take that whole assembly off and put it on a 67. And then that car, everything, I could put quarters on it, all that other sort of thing. And the other thing, which I have to figure out too, I'm debating on this. The 67 came with Shelby style hood and nose and the deck lid, quarter extensions, and the tail panel. Had the Shelby, setup. So it'd be kind of cool to do that and put that back together in that way. So I don't know. There's plenty for me to work on. I know I got to get the Cobra Jet done first. That's the priority. So this is just going to be in my way for a period of time. And even some of the stuff that I do for the videos, it would be fun to watch, I guess, if I did it in a more of a time lapse type of situation. I know that I'm still struggling with the whole YouTube thing. It is just, I don't understand it. I really don't. It's not generating anywhere near what it should be. I've got plenty of views. I've got content and everything like that, but it just keeps on declining, and I don't know why. I can't figure it out, and I'm not even gonna focus on it. I have more important things to do. So, let's see. I've talked about the Cobra Jet and the brake problem situation. Of course, the hood that I did. I still have a lot to do on the hood. I'm going to address the little dents in the front of the hood and fix the hole. That's the other thing. I need to figure out I haven't looked for these yet. Maybe somebody can give me some insight. Okay, I have this is the hardware from the Shaker hood scoop opening. That piece. Does anybody know if they make these reinforcements? I've got the nuts. Somebody told me I have to save those, of course, but the these pieces are just really, really bad. There is no replicating those on my side of things, so I have to figure out if they make those and whether I can get them. That would be a thing that I have to address as well. Troy, just a thought, but maybe turn the 67 into a convertible and move forward with the 68 to a fastback. You could move a convertible. Maybe. But if I do that, then I have to have all the inner structure. I can't just make it a convertible. You have to have the whole inner structure, the reinforcement, the doubled up rocker panels, the third rocker panel. You have to have that. So that's a bit more complicated. To me, it is. Now, I know when I did the Brooklyn Pony, that's the one part that I salvaged out of the original car, and that for just that reason. Now, they may sell that part, but I don't know. You have to have that whole inner structure that goes where the back seat is. All that helps support all that, back together. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could see where maybe the convertible would be a good idea. I don't know. It's something to think about. I appreciate you. Something to think about. Michael Pagliarini, good evening, all. Glad you're here, Michael. Robert says he likes the vert idea. I fit in a vert. Well, maybe you can do it. I'll make you a package deal. Yeah. Michael says I would just fabricate them. Okay. Travis, I couldn't find a reasonably priced 69 or 70 fastback, so I bought a coupe. I'm in the process of converting it, but more of building using all new sheet metal. That sounds familiar. I did see your pictures you posted on Patreon, and yes, you're going to have to do a lot of measuring to make sure everything goes in the right spot. And I'll help you with that. I'm happy to help you with that. Robert, the braces are $30 on eBay. Well, I'm not talking about the little corner braces. I'm talking about the whole back seat thing. That whole big U-shaped deal that supports the roof structure. That's another thing. You have to have the roof. You have to have the whole convertible mechanism. You got to have the cylinders. You got to have the pump. That adds up pretty quick. Troy says NPD has the parts. Item number. Well, I'll have to look that up. Robert, $40 ship first result I found. Well, are you talking about just the little braces in the corners? Because I would imagine that whole big back structure is a lot more expensive. Kentucky Mustang is the seller. Okay. Again, are you talking about the little braces or the inner rockers? I don't know. I can't look at those part numbers and go, I know what that is. So I don't know. It's not helping. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting it. Rusty says he cut the roof off of a 68. And Troy says $20.60 for the NPD parts for the shaker. Okay. Whew. Thank you, Troy. I wasn't sure where we were at. Okay. Because I got lost there. We were talking about convertible, and then we started going a different direction back to the shaker hood stuff. Got it. Okay. Thank you all. Appreciate that. Y'all get bells for all that effort. And me being a dummy just sitting there going, what? Okay. So let's back on the subject. If you look at what it really takes to make a convertible, you've got to have that whole back seat structure. You have to have the bracing. You have to have the inner rockers. Then there's a crossover panel that connects both rocker panels together. Got to have that. And then the whole roof structure, the cylinders, the trim. There's a lot. And I know it would be a lot for the to do the fastback. However, I don't have to finish a fastback. All I have to do is get it together and then pass it on. So here you go. Here's a 68 fastback, and all you have to do is put all the trim in and put all the pieces on it, and you're done. That's all you got to do. Rusty says removable fastback. Well, yeah, I know you've done that, and that's, I guess that's a possibility. But I just don't know. Dave Britton checking in. Hi, how are you? Hi, Dave. I'm doing better. After getting a piece of metal stuck in my eye on Thursday. And this car, I named it Fangled. This car is fangled. You can all translate that however you like. But that's what I named it. Okay. Ugh, my eye is killing me. Robert, in my opinion, all cars should get the vent rockers or the vert rockers and other parts if you're going that far. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's really not. It's really not a bad idea. And what I'm thinking on like this car, let's just say I was able to do this the way I discussed it earlier, taking off everything from here to here and putting it on the 67, I would basically buy a whole complete floor pan to put underneath this. And then that would take care of anything that's wrong in the back. All the inner structure, everything would be taken care of in one shot. The rocker panels are in great shape. They're not messed up. So that would kind of put everything back where it needs to be, and then add on the sides and all that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's really got the gears crunching in my head. Richard, will the 68 have to go on a frame machine? I don't think so. I hope not. What I may end up doing is setting it up on my jig and see if it's within limits of my jig. So if it's close and I can tweak something here and there, that may be all I end up doing, but we'll see. Ian C. Currently everything on dashboard comes on, but the van won't turn on. I don't know what's wrong with it. 2008 Honda Odyssey. That's a hard question to answer. That's a really hard question to answer. Could be a neutral safety switch. You might have to wiggle it in park, make sure it's in park. Put it in neutral and try to start it. See if that does anything. Not much else I can offer you on that vehicle. But good question. Michael, this weekend was what? Gatsby days? So the city was just one big block party. The guy that has a 70 Mach 1 stopped at my house to see my 65. He was super impressed with the work I'm doing. Okay, that's awesome. I don't know what Gatsby Days is, but... Isaac checking in, late to the party. Hope all is well with everyone. Glad you're doing okay with the eye. Had that happen once. I don't use wire wheels for that reason. Oh, yeah, wire wheels, yeah. Always a face shield with wire wheels. Anytime I'm running a wire wheel, I wear a jacket or a sweatshirt, and it never fails. There's pieces of wire all stuck in my jacket or stuck in my pants. Yeah, it's fun. Ian says, okay, let me try that. Yeah, give that a shot. Michael, I think he's considering selling it. It will end up as a tribute to the station nightclub. Okay. So I'm a little confused. I don't know what this Gatsby Days is. And I'm not sure what the 70 Mach 1 is. What's the deal with that is. And maybe you've mentioned it before. I don't know. So that's where I'm not sure about what station nightclub. Okay, I'm not sure what that is all about. Sorry. Jerry is checking in. Howdy, Barry. Howdy, y'all. I hope you all are having a good day. Sorry, Robert's in a bad mood. He's just mad I am in Santa Barbara right now. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he is. Glad you're here, Jerry. Simone says, good night, Barry. I need to get some sleep. Busy day tomorrow. Yes. Every day is a busy day anymore. So glad you're here, Simone. Yeah, and I'm probably not going to... I may not even last an hour tonight. I already can feel voice is starting to get rough on me. And this light is very, very irritating to my eye. So I'm going to have to figure out how it's going to work out tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to be going to the back to the eye doctor to have it looked at. Okay, Rick says 08 Honda could be bad starter relay or even a security module. Need to check with a scan tool. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Michael, Gatsby was a British ship, the pre-Boston Tea Party. Oh. Well, I guess I didn't know that, so thank you for that. Tall Red Easel has given me a super sticker. Thank you kindly. Appreciate that. That's awesome. See if I can put that at the top of the list. So, thank you. Thank you. Dave Britton. Barry, did you ever get the piece of metal removed from your eye? I've been there, done that. Yeah. I did go to the hospital on Saturday, spent Saturday evening there. they numbed me up and they dug something out. I'm going back tomorrow to have it looked at again, and just to see if it's out, or how it looks. They took a picture of it. The guy used his phone and took a picture of it through the microscope thing, and you could see where it was. There's still residue, let's say, from it, because it was apparently a rusty piece of metal, or maybe it rusted after it was in my eye. And so they're going to look at that tomorrow and see if anything else needs to happen. That's about all I can say. Hopefully it's on the way to recovering. It's always something. It's always something. But thank you for asking. Yeah. That's probably about where we're at tonight. I'm this. Let's see here, Robert. Well, you could wait till the rest rusts out of your eye and flushes out, or turns your vision red. Yeah, that would be fun. Richard says, thank you for having your show tonight. I hope you're 100% soon. Yeah, me too. It's been a little frustrating, of course, having the problem with the caliper and stuff like that on the Mach 1. And I was hoping that at this point I would have had fenders back on it and doors on it and all that stuff. But it's a priority, but it's also not being pressed. As in, once I get done with it, I don't know how long it's going to be before the next things happen to it. So I'm going to be trying to get it ready for paint as much as I can before I move on to something else. And like I said, the prospect of painting it will come later in the year. This next few months is going to be too much, too hot, and just can't do it. So I have to wait till the temperature gets better. Alan, the eye doctor can give you drops. Yes, they gave me eye drops, and they gave me antibiotic stuff that my wife is putting in my eye for me, and that's been helping a lot. But thank you, Alan. Marcus, those eye pokes always feel like something is there for days. Definitely. Michael, we the people turned it into a barn fire. You're talking about the Gatsby? Okay. I'm guessing. I don't know. Dave Britton, Robert, he could do that. Every car he looks at, no matter how nice, will look rusty. He could not do that. Yeah. Every car would look rusty. Exactly. Dawn, my sympathies, have had Betsy junk in my eye. Not fun. Yeah. It's just not a, there's nothing positive to say about having stuff in your eyes. Really, you just can't. Derek Pro, hi Barry, everyone. Hope all is well. Nice new toy there, Barry. Yeah, it's glad you're here. It's potentially I'm not sure what I'm doing with it yet. I got the car really cheap, I'll say that, and I don't know exactly where or what or how I'm going to do something to it. It's one of those deals. Robert, they had to rip a layer of the cornea off of Robert's eye to get his eye to heal. Ouch. Thank you, Cindy. I guess you're typing that. Yeah, that's. Ugh. Yeah, I don't want to have that happen. Not interested in that. No ripping the cornea. That doesn't sound good at all. Sorry I had to go through that, Robert. PTL, fabrication, low all, cheap is always good. Yeah, it is. Here's a really sad thing here. I'll just show you this if you can see it. That fender, both front fenders, appear to be rust-free. What you can't see is this bottom ledge here. It looks like somebody hooked onto it and pulled on it, and so the it almost acts like the rear section is up and the forward section is down and pulled out. And so I hate that it looks like it's a almost perfect fender, except for that area there. And on the other side, the forward section here is pushed up. But again, they look like they're rust free. So we'll figure it out. Derek says, back burner for another day. You have enough on for sure. Yes, I do. I definitely have enough to do. Dave, the doctor had to dig in my eye with a needle to get the chunk of rust out of mine. Very hard to hold your eye open. Yeah, that's what they were doing to me. They had numbed me up, and I had to stare off into space and watch him come in, and he pointed his, fingers against the bridge of my nose and was using that as an anchor point, and just, yeah, it is not great. The Dutchman's Woodshack, afternoon from Wisconsin. Good afternoon, Dutchman. Glad you're here. Rick Gain, cornea transplant caused complete vision loss in my left eye 20 years ago. Ouch. Sorry to hear that, Rick. The Dutchman, is it restorable? Everything's restorable. Everything is restorable. You can look at some of the work that I've done. I've jokingly said before, like when I rebuilt that Brooklyn Pony car, all I needed is a good set of door hinges. And I can build a car. Jerry, oof, that sounds something. Oof, that sounds while thinking they're messing with your eye. Yeah, it's uncomfortable if that's what the word you were looking for, but yeah, it's not fun. Dave, did you already talk about the Mustang? Did I miss it, or should I just review the video? Well, you can review the video, but I just picked this up today. Roger and I went and got it, and it's a 68 coupe, plain Jane, no engine, no transmission, really no options. The guy initially thought it was a GT because it had GT hubcaps, and I explained to him it's definitely not a GT, but it has potential to be a parts car, maybe turn into a fastback. I don't know yet. So there's a lot to think about on this one. Dawn, my next project, haul out the sailboat and prep it for sale. The Admiral says she is done getting her bottom wet. That's not a bad idea. That's one thing I said I probably will never own is a boat. Yeah, I don't want a boat. I have friends who have boats, just like I have friends who have swimming pools. Note to self. Oh, Jerry says, I meant the sound you were making while they were messing with your eye. Yeah, well, I had to kind of make some sound. And it wasn't actually any sound, to be honest. I was just trying to give the impression. All I know is it was really blurry. Trevor says, convert it, don't be a sissy. Yeah. I ain't scared. I ain't scared at all. You've seen the work I do. I'll make it happen if I want to. Dave Britton, would you ever want an airplane? Would I ever want an airplane? That's a really difficult question. To fly? I would love to have a P-51 Mustang on display in my front yard. How about that? I would love to have a P-51 Mustang sitting out in the front yard, just taking up space. Or just any old military plane, Corsair, I don't care. I would love to have one sitting out in the front yard or up on a pole in the front yard. So that would be, yeah, I would do something like that. To own a plane and have to do maintenance on it and all that stuff, no, probably not. I wish I could fly, or I wish I had a pilot's license. I would like to fly, yes. but I don't think I'd ever want to own a plane. Jerry says, too late, the sound is working away in my brain. Rusty's Restoration, P-51 Mustang. See? There you go. Rick says, you did own a boat. You quickly scrapped it. Yes, and technically, I've owned 3 boats. Technically, I've owned 3 boats. Never put a single one of them in the water. The first one was a small fishing boat, and I got it for $100. Did nothing to it and turned around, sold it, and made some money on it. So I was happy with that. The other one was kind of a bigger boat, and it was being sold really cheap, and I bought it. Did nothing to it, and turned around and sold it, and made a few $100s on it. And then, of course, the last boat was the donor for the trailer jig. So yes, you are correct. Alan, are there any nests in the car? I don't think so. This car has been in storage inside this guy's garage for several years now. I don't know how many years, but more than a few. He was happy to have it out of his garage, I can tell you that. But I have not done any research on nests or anything. Roger, I'll take the airplane. Maybe, yeah. Maybe. Robert, I'd like to build a boat, aluminum, or a mahogany 3-cockpit boat. Man, nothing's stopping you. You could do that. That sounds like a great idea. Jerry says no, Robert. So I guess not. Marcus Frisk, the P-51 sounds amazing. Yeah, that would be really cool to have sitting out there. Dave Britton, is it a center console car? It is not. It is a base model. I mean, it was a V8 automatic, and that's it. There's no center, no console. I didn't see much evidence. I don't even think it. I thought possibly it had AC, but I don't think it did. I think it's a very plain Jane 289 2-barrel automatic car. So nothing special. Terry Keithley, I would love to ride in the belly gun of a B-17. What a trip! That would be quite the trip. Yes, or I think they had them on B-29s too. The B-29 is always one of my favorite planes. I remember doing a special presentation on B-29s, and I was like just really, really amazed by what it could do. But if you look at the history of the B-29, apparently there were some problems with that plane that nobody really wanted to talk about. But anyway, yeah, any old warbird would be great to have on display in the front yard. There's a place or two when we drive over to Alabama to visit friends. There is like half of an airplane sitting in this guy's yard, but he also has like a what do they call them? The dwarf cars that they race. He's got one of those sitting there. He's got the whole side of a NASCAR car sitting there, and the plane was one that got hit by a propeller. Like it's got chop, like something mowed it down, I guess, the side of the fuselage. So it was scrap. Dawn says, I wouldn't fit in a ball turret. Well, probably not. Those are tight spaces. They put some small guys in those, that's for sure. Marcus, the P-51 sounds amazing running Allison V12. Yes. Yep. Dave Britton, yes, the B-29 had a ball turret in the belly. Yep. And Robert says, Spitfire would be cool too. Great looking plane. There are kits. Oh, yeah, you could build one, Robert. You got all day. You can do that. You can have it done in a month. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. I think I'm going to have to call it a night. This light is really irritating my eye. And my voice is just getting worse and worse. So I do plan. Oh, wait, Turkey. My other wish is riding a German King Tiger tank. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Roger, the first flying airplane I worked on was Fifi, the CAF B-29. It had an engine out and landed at Shepherd Air Force Base when I was in Air Force Tech School. There you go. That's a great memory. Quick one here. The Dutchman was looking to sell my Mustang. Where would be a good place to advertise it? Well, if you're not on Facebook, if you're on Facebook, you can do Marketplace. If you wanted to, you could send me some pictures and links of it, whatever you have, and maybe I could post it on my Facebook page, and we'll have to see. Maybe I can help you out with that. So you can send me an email on that if you want. Just a real quick notification there at the bottom, joedaddysgarage@gmail.com, and maybe I can help you out with it. I don't know. So just give me all the information you can and pictures. Okay, that'll be it for tonight. I want to thank you all for being here, and I plan to be back next weekend, or next Monday, for sure. And we'll see how the rest of the month goes. I have some things coming up that I have to deal with, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. But that'll be it for tonight. So thanks for being here, and until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.